Hello, my friends. It is Danny D from Solicitous Comics. It is September the 4th. I have 3 new ones for you and a little bit of gossip from the grapevine. Our first one, Gusto. This is a gentleman from Palm Springs, I'm assuming Florida. Seems to be a lot of them coming out of Florida lately. I find that interesting. If you want to see this gentleman's art, go to the link that'll be down below in the description. He shows a lot of it, and he actually has a little tiny mini story about his main characters in the video. He is new to this, meaning to this type of endeavor. His mission is to come out of the gate swinging. He wants to build up a good fan base, and I like the way he's doing it. To me, he's not part of Comicsgate, but he's definitely that type of person. Somebody who's ready to go out on their own and wants to make good comics. I like that. His art is interesting. There's a little doll, I guess, he made of his main character. I don't think there's anything else. No, that is all the art. Like I said, if you want to see the way he draws, click onto his video and you'll see. Like I said, you can read a little bit of his story. Now, what you read is not in the book. The book, that's just a preview. The book is different. The book is actually 2 stories. The first half is basically your typical superhero adventure. The second half is your superheroes fighting against a bunch of supernatural beings. So there's 2 stories you're going to get. I think he said it was 48 pages. Yes, it's a 48 page. All right. He is looking for a goal of 2,500. This will be in black and white only. He wants to do it very simple for his first comic, which I think is a very wise idea. He is going to be up for 2 months. He's at $60 so far. His perks are $15 for a signed copy, $5 for a digital copy, or $125 for a signed copy, obviously, some original art from the comic, and someone who buys this tier will receive the original art from the cover, which is very interesting. That person will be picked at random. There's only 49 of those, so one of 49 people will get the original cover art. I think that's kind of cool. All right, our next one. This one has been here before. Again, he doesn't show any art. I wish he would show a little tiny bit of the art in the description, but he doesn't. But basically, let's make sure I get these guys' names right. Bill Bull, which is a marshal, who's been a marshal for a long time, does not like using guns. He has a new marshal, Jack Mustang, who he's trying to teach the ropes to. Now, the premise of the story, and I know some people might look at it and go, why would a sheriff not want to use a gun? Or, that doesn't make any sense to me. This really reminds me of 2 movies that were in the 60s. I think it's either 60s or very early 70s, called Support Your Local Sheriff and Support Your Local Gunfighter. I'll just use Support Your Local Sheriff as an example, because both movies were pretty much the same kind of premise. Very funny. And that's what this is. This comic is a comedy. But in the movie, the gentleman who becomes the sheriff, a bunch of guys, for example, they come running into town on their horses. They're at full gallop, guns blazing, and you know, everybody in the town is diving out of the way because they don't want to accidentally get shot by some stray bullet. Well, the sheriff doesn't like that. So the sheriff ties a rope to one of the other buildings across the street as from the jail. So the next day when the guys come in from their cattle running, they come into town, guns a-blazing, and the sheriff pulls the rope up, trips the horses stop, all the guys fly off the horse. Well, the guys' third day when they come in quietly, guns not blazing. They look at the sheriff. "Good afternoon, Sheriff," they all say. Sheriff looks at him. "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Headed down to the bar?" "Yes, sir, we are." He did not have to use a gun to take care of the situation. That's what this comic reminds me of. It's an interesting premise. Like I said, this was here before, I think almost a month ago. There's 20 days left on this one. He just started. He is already at 245. His goal is 20,000. Let me get to his perks. For $15, you get a soft cover. 44 pages, soft cover of your... Whoa! This guy's doing a lot here. You can get it in either English, French, Spanish, German, Portuguese, or Italian. Dude, you did a lot for this. That's pretty wild. Or for $30, you get a hardcover. And I'm assuming, I will click on this, that it's the same thing. Yep. Either in English, French, Spanish, German, Portuguese, and Italian. That's pretty intense. That's a lot of translation, and you kind of have to be careful because I guess all the gags are visual. They would have to be because that's the only way they would translate. That's pretty wild. Anyway, that is Bill and Mustang. And our last one that we're doing for today, and this one unfortunately I have a little tiny bit of criticism for. We did one earlier, or I did one earlier, called Charlemagne, where a teacher was trying to write a book that his 4-year-old son could read because he didn't want his 4-year-old son to see some of the stuff in Star Wars. He wanted to tone it down a little bit. I thought it was interesting, the story was interesting, but the art was atrocious. And I'm sorry, the guy was trying to do everything himself. I don't suggest that. I'll explain why after. Let me get through to this book. Okay, this book, Zen Surf, The Monk's Amnesia. He is looking for 5,000. He's at $10. And there's 2 days left. This wasn't here yesterday. This is too short. It should be a lot longer. Let me scroll through some of the art here. You know, he's got the right kind of style. Some surfer dude in what looks like an old Ford truck. You know, there's some more of the art and some more of the art. And I will scroll down and I will show you some of the other art. And here's where I have a little criticism. The art that he is using, this picture for example, I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to make it look like his legs are right up front and he is in the back. But it's not done to the proper perspective. I highly suggest, if you want to do an Indiegogo, because of the caliber of the artwork that is out there on the other Indiegogos, hire a professional artist. It will really help your book. And if I'm wrong and you make it, awesome. You know, that's fantastic. I congratulate you. But I think that is going to hinder you because of the way the art is. You know, it's not refined enough. Like this here. This looks like, and again, this is my opinion. This looks like two gray dudes three gray dudes with super long legs with hair but no feet. You know, it's just not, it's not up to the standards that a lot of the other comics are, and I really, really doubt that you are going to get anywhere close to your goal in this amount of time. 2 days? I mean, yeah, $5,000 is not bad, but 2 days? No, not with this kind of art. Okay, here's his perks. For $10, you get a digital version. For $20, you get a printed version. For $35, you get a printed version and a sketch. $50, you actually end up being a character in the book, and you get a special edition issue. I guess everyone who's going to be a character gets a special issue. There are other perks. You can scroll down and see them. I wish this guy the best. I honestly do not think that you're going to do that well. Now, what I was getting to, or alluding to, for this person, is I had an idea for a comic. Now, I'm not a writer. I do draw. I enjoy drawing. I enjoy airbrushing, but I could never do it on a professional basis. It would take me forever to do it. I'm much better at building cars. So I reached out to a new writer who I met on a live stream. And I also met a new, now this is over the internet, so I haven't met them in person, but I've talked to them. There is also an artist, and I like her work. I want to contact her through social media, and I'm going to ask her if she is interested in doing a project, explain to her what the project is. The writer and I, we've emailed each other back and forth a couple of times. I'm not silly enough to not... The idea was good. I think the idea was good. I picked a writer for a specific reason because of what he likes to write, and it'll lend itself to my idea. But I'm not going to try to write this because that's not my thing. Same with the drawing. I'd rather have someone else draw it. That's not my thing. I hope all three of us make some good money on this. And we'll see what happens. You know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. All right. To our rumor mill, which technically isn't exactly a rumor as it is being worked on right now. Uncle E is going to be doing a comic. He had an idea. He got an artist already, and he got a writer already. But they're going to do something like the Voltron thing, except it's going to be all here in the States. They don't exactly have a name nailed down for it, but it's a giant fighting robot, and it's a bunch of blue-collar guys, and I kind of like this because, as I stated earlier, I build cars. So this is right up my alley. Let me show you the bottom here. As you can see there, he's got a fuel truck for 1 foot, a pickup truck for another foot, tractor tires in the legs. He's got smokestacks on the shoulders, blown engines on the shoulders, right where the rotator cup would be, and a baseball cap on the top of the head of the robot. I mean, you can't scream more American than that. I think this is a really neat idea. This project is already in the works, which is kind of cool. I figured I'd give you guys a sneak peek. This was on Uncle E's morning theme, morning show this morning. He showed this. I thought it was pretty cool. His writer, or his artist, was also on. He is doing, oh good God, Brand, which is one of the ones that I backed, and his art is amazing. He's a really cool artist. So I can't wait to see this. All right, guys, as usual, all the links will be below. Welcome to English as a Second Language. All the links will be below in the description. Please like, share, and subscribe. The bigger I get, the more people I can help. And I hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic day.